Makes the stop in the secondary for Denver. 1st and 10. The fake. Good. Block in there, and down it goes. Caught at the 30.
Welcome to the Fins Tailgate. It's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. We live that aqua and orange from the field to the mic. Breaking down the plays, man, we talk it every night. From Tua to the defense, you know we keep it tight. NFL moves, you know we got the insight. We open up the floor, yeah, it's your time to shine. Fans drop the heat with opinions realigned. You got concerns, bring them, we're gonna chime. The Fins Tailgate's where we keep it prime. Welcome to the Fins Tailgate, it's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. The NFL's changing, but we stay on the grind. Latest breaking stories, we don't waste no time. From the trades to the rumors, we make them all align. At the Fins Tailgate, we always on the climb. We're repping the Dolphins, but it's NFL wide. From South Beach to the league, we keep it worldwide. Got the fans engaged with the energy supplied. Come kick it at the tailgate, we're riding high tide. Welcome to the Fins Tailgate, it's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. So if you love the game, you know we got the gate. Tune in, speak out, don't wait, it's your fate. This is the Fins Tailgate, now watch us dominate. Miami Dolphins, NFL, yeah, we integrate.
What is happening, fans, and welcome to another episode of the Fins Tailgate with your host El Capitan. Today, had some time, got a lot to catch up on. Dude, we could talk about championship weekend all episode, but we're not. We're gonna get caught up on some Dolphins stuff. We're gonna double back to the We're going to double back to the absolute free fall that the Bills are in. I want to talk about that a little bit. And then, we're just going to keep it Dolphins. We're going to keep it loose. I got a full itinerary. I got videos. I've got audio clips, news. We're getting right into it. Make sure everybody is hitting the like button on their way in if you're watching on X, Twitch, Twitter, cup on a string, carrier pigeon, a message in a bottle, however you are enjoying the program. Make sure you guys are coming over here to YouTube and hitting the like button and subscribing. Shout out to everybody who did get in here and chat for the impromptu show. I see you guys in chat on Kick as well. Typing nothing, I see. Jamaica from Zion locked in. Hit the like button. Night Wolf, what's going on? I see you in chat. You're a clown, El Capitan. No wonder Brokeback Mountain is your favorite movie. I have proof in text. No, you don't. Michael K will always message me and ask me about homoerotic things, saying, "Hey, Capitan, do you like this? I'm like, dude, stop, bro. I'm not interested in you, bro." And that's cool. I get it. To each their own. But and he's a fan. It's kind of, just don't worry. I'm going to talk about the Bills today too, because there's plenty to talk about. Hit the like button. Yeah, Ghost, we're going to talk about the hires. We're going to talk about we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. We got action, baby. We got Dolphins action. And I expect it to be a busy week as we take the week off to, get the Super Bowl coming, which is going to be, dude, think about it. Here are the Dolphins, rebuilding after, just absolute failure to build this properly. General manager lost his job first, and then ultimately they let coach go. Who, say what you want, Mike McDaniel was highly sought after by a lot of people, ultimately ending up with the OC job with the Chargers, and that's what he chose. He had a couple of teams ready to sign him as a head coach, but he chose. And to be honest, he turned down even going and interviewing with the Bills for the head coaching job. I mean, that again, we're going to talk about the Bills in a little while, but that is dude, the Bills are in trouble. But meanwhile, the Dolphins rebuilding, the Bills free falling. They think they got something. They think they're on the right track, but man, they're free falling. And meanwhile, the damn Patriots, we don't even think about the Jets. Jets who? Jets are over there purging all their coaches right now. Aaron Glenn and whatever's running the GM, he's literally firing all the coaching staff as if that's going to make the things better over there. The team sucks. The organization, anyhow. But here we are, and little do we know, fucking Patriots back in the damn Super Bowl, dude. Patriots back in the Super Bowl. Son of a bitch, dude. Son of a bitch. I mean, come on, bro. Like, at this point, I would have rather the Bills been in the Super Bowl than see the Patriots back there again. Like, come on, Johnny. I mean, dude, serious. First of all, I am picking right now for the Seattle Seahawks to not only win, but obliterate the Patriots. I know the Patriots, they're not going to grind down the Seahawks offensively and defensively to hold them into like some under 20-point game, some 15, 16, 10-point. That is not what's going to happen with the Seahawks. And I don't think that the Patriots possess enough to keep up with what Seattle's offense is going to do in them. But still, I got to fucking watch it. I got to see that. That's what I got to have. I got to look at the Patriots back in the Super Bowl while no one else from the AFC East. Again, I would have at least liked to hate on the Bills in the Super Bowl. The Jets, again, are they even in this division? Like, do they even play football in New Jersey anymore? Like, what happened to y'all? Used to at least be a thorn in somebody's side, mainly us or the other guys in the. Now we don't even. They ain't even a thorn. You're a thorn in your own side. What happened to the Jets? Ugh. Hit the like button, everybody. So yeah, we got tons to talk about. I've been ready and set to go on a couple of subjects, and I should get in and do a good hour or 40. I don't know. I got to figure out a better flow to things because I might have to come in, talk about one thing for like 45 minutes and bounce, or these hour and a halves and I squeeze everything in. I don't know. I'm in flux, people. The Fins Tailgate, as you guys have been fans of years, have seen, we have made many changes. Many. Nightwolf, I like this comment here. El Capitan, take it with a grain of salt, but via Omar Kelly, both Packers and the Seahawks are benefactors of the Packer way. Ron Wolftree, yeah, I know I'm reaching, thinking about this. Listen, I'll take anything right now. I'll take anything. First of all, Ron Wolf was the king of how it's done, and I think that type of football is more important today as far as the line of scrimmage. All this speed stuff. Again, I said it when Mike McDaniel got success in 23 after that season. I said, the Dolphins built the best offensive system like this in probably the last year it was going to work because you could see the forest of the trees. The game was going back to a more power type of thing, more plays in the run game, and a lot of blockers and more smash mouth. That's when the tush push was really becoming a thing. The line of scrimmage was becoming more important to grind out wins because defenses have finally caught up to how to play to the speed of the game with these weapons on the outside. I don't know if you guys noticed, but DBs are walking around 6'2", 6'3", big son of a bitches that can run now. So it's just changed. And Mike McDaniel really with the Dolphins in 2023, I thought built the perfect offense of weaponry and scheme and everything, minus what the quarterback ultimately could do. But on the whole, they built the best of something, and we've done this before too. Like we build the best of something at the end of a fucking era. It's like, oh yeah, like speed. And we're like, well, we're gonna finally get this speed thing figured out, and it's like the last year it could ever really work, and that's what kind of happened to us. I believe. Fuck it. I said it then. I still believe it now. I hope, because it looks like we're going to pivot now to be a little bit more of power, and hopefully it won't be too little too late with the whole power thing. Why does it do that? Here we go. Yeah, yes, Mike McDaniel canceled his interview with the Bills. That should show Bills fans how sad it's really gotten for you guys. It's gotten pretty. Mofos are saying, I'm good. I'm good. You got Josh Allen. You would think they'd be lining up. You know who thought that? The ownership, management. They thought motherfuckers be lining up for Josh Allen. Ooh. We're going to talk about that. Don't worry. Hit the like button. Now I'm starting to feel it. Kind of feeling it a little bit. Kind of starting to feel it. Ready and set to go. Hit the like button. What's up, Dolphin Don? Been waiting on people to creep in here and chat. Hey, Linda, John, what's going on? Who else did I mess up in here? Hit the like, everybody. So, I guess let's kind of get into it, right? I'm going to start out in the beginnings, because here's how it kind of goes, right? You know, as you guys know, we had the introductory press conference with the new general manager, Sully, and the new head coach, Half, which affectionately calling them Sully and Half, as they both look like, you know, Air Force fighter pilots. The jokes and the memes of Top Gun really never end. And honestly, I got to talk to producers about that. I feel like we're gonna run with that. Anyhow, here's just a little tidbit. You know, over the first few days with Jeff Hafley, people have nice things to say, expectations. But I like this video that came out. It's very honest. I like the guy's vibe. I get it, right? You know, he's new and what have you. But personally, I'm giving the guy every opportunity right now, because they're really doing it as best they can for full rebuild. For Miami Dolphins fans, this is the closest we'll get to at least a strip down of general manager on down and hiring of coaches to pivot. Now the pivot is it's weird, because I say pivot, yet a lot of the things that we were already doing offensively and defensively are going to translate very well here for this new football staff that is being put together. But let's look at this. So here's Jeff Hafley his first few days. I like that you get it. These are puff piece videos, but I felt like there was some real honesty in here a lot. Here comes Hafley in the back and Sully in the front. Pause. Here comes our boy, our new guy.
So what are we coming to different door?
It's my first time, dude, so I have no idea where we are.
We were gonna wear matching outfits because people probably already think we look like everybody.
See, right away, okay, self-deprecating. We were gonna wear matching outfits because everybody thinks we look alike. Get it? Call it. Where do we go? I have no freaking clue. It's my first time being in here. All right, it's honest. At least as honest as these Dolphins will ever be. But I'm digging it, right? I dig the guys' vibes. I don't see overwhelming pressure. I see guys capturing the moment. I see guys that are present, but not, you know, that it's obviously there's still a lot of moving parts, but they seem to have a grasp of it.
Oh, I got my name on here now. You guys are on it. What's up, Tom?
Hey, how are you?
Good, man. All right, that's nice. That's nicer than any bathroom I've had in my house, so that's a good starting point.
Dolphins facilities will always
I'll
be
get
top
everyone's
notch.
names, I promise. Just don't. I'm
See
gonna
right
start-
here, and this
I promise.
this was something I said, when people were kind of giving a little bit of shit on a little bit of things on the hires and how they're reacting. I'm like, bro, calm down. This guy hasn't even gotten the building yet. He doesn't know anybody's names. Like, let's reserve the mistakes and criticisms for when there's mistakes to criticize, right? Like, this up to this point, he's not saying and he doesn't seem to be, peacocking, and he seems to be a little bit self-deprecating in a charming type way. And that's right here. Listen to what he says.
I'll get everyone's names, I promise. Just don't. I'm gonna start at midnight. As I got the sheet in everyone's faces. I'm happy to get all this today.
I mean, don't even know everybody's names. So again, more of a honest moment.
We're looking at tour. Today will be fun though. What's up, guys? Where do you want to sit? Over here.
Yep.
Pen to paper. They always do that. Man, look at this room full of sharks, dude. Real quick. Sorry, just real quick. Just so we're clear. Here we go, just right here in this pic. There's Coach. There's Garfunkel. Over to the left, and I'm calling him Garfunkel. Sorry, that's how it go. Over to the left, just tipping on the shoulder. There go Dan. There go Dan Marino. And looking to him is Troy Aikman. And wait for the next scene. There they are right there. This is the son-in-law. I can't remember his name. I want to say it's Dan something. Dan Lee. I don't know. This is the son-in-law in the back. Then we've got Dan, and I don't know who this woman is. Is that, what's her face? Amy something? I can't remember. But yeah. And there's owner Stephen Ross to complete the full collective of everyone and everything.
My socks. In special moments, whether it's before games or on the way to games, I always have my daughters on them. So I got multiple colors, but that way my daughters are always with me.
Okay. I'm trying to hold it together. Sorry. Trying to hold it together. It's cheesy, dude, but I get it. There's like an endearment to it. Listen, I got kids. I love my kids. I do stupid, silly dad stuff. And I get why they're highlighting it. And Buddy's proud of it, which, say what you want. You wouldn't talk shit about it face, but I still got to laugh.
Daughters are always with me.
He knows it's silly. He's got his daughters on his socks.
Yeah, he knows my socks. I always have my daughters on special moments.
It's a good eye.
Every Father's Day, I get a new pair.
There's only room.
Exactly what Ross wants to say. First class. It's first class. It's Ross, a.k.a. Cousin Trump.
One place. It's at the top.
The culture of competition, hard work, resilience, and love for each other will bounce off the walls of this place day in and day out to where you can't deny what we're about.
Fuck, that was good words, dog. I don't give a shit. I get it. Some people were joking on him, saying, "Oh, we're gonna build it with love," but ultimately, for a team to fully together, for an NFL team to fully come together and go all in on one goal of the season, that how it's gonna be, they gotta care for each other, dude. They have to, because it's a cohesive unit, man. And Buddy stood on business.
The culture of competition, hard work, resilience, and love for each other will bounce off the walls of this place day in and day out to where you can't deny what we're about.
Fuck, I hope so, buddy. I hope so, buddy.
I am truly humbled to stand here and be the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. And I take a lot of pride and responsibility in
Real quick, and I want to listen to Coach, but what is this voyeur angle? What is this? What is this creepy? I'm staring at Coach, looking at him from the bushes. What is this angle here? Come on. Coach out here freaking. I get it. We're trying to get a little tricky and stuff, but what's up with this angle? Come on, bro. Trying to listen to Coach, and all I could think about is a framework you've put in here. Whose idea was it to say, hey, I got an idea. We're going to look up, and we're going to be peeking at Coach from behind the bushes. I don't want that. I don't like this. I don't like that. I want to just hear homie. They didn't do Sully like this. Sully had a great angle. I don't like the imagery. I don't like the metaphor. I don't like you, Miami Dolphins media squad, putting me in the position of a creep.
Miami Dolphins. And I take a lot of pride and responsibility in that. And now really to my thank yous to Mr. Ross and your family, thank you for believing in me. I do not take that lightly, and I will do everything I can for you and your family.
Fucking stand on it, son.
I want to thank my family, and this is why I saved it for the end. Hope and Leah, I thank you guys, and I thank Gina. And I can tell you this about Gina. Gina's not into this, so she can walk around and tell people that she's married to the head coach of the Dolphins. She doesn't care. All she cares about is us, how I'm feeling, supporting me, and doing everything she can for those kids. I'm lucky today, too, because I got my mom, my sister, and brother here today.
I know what you did with the
Flying here to be with me means everything, and I thank him for that. And for my real coach, my dad, my first coach, who toughened me up and was there for me. This is a storied organization. One of the
fuck, real quick. All right. Okay. I get it now. The imagery scene from behind the bush was something to kind of hold reservation view, needing to not have the feeling that they were trying to portray, which was going to be sentimental as he welled up there talking about a couple of things. Hit the like button, everybody.
Best in all sports, and you deserve a winner. You guys deserve a winner. And I am going to do everything in my power to bring you guys that.
I read that you slept in an office for 2 years while at Pitt. What would you say to that guy now? And then how did that experience prepare you for this current moment?
Again, it's a life lesson of hard work, and I mean really hard work and sacrifice. If you do it, they pay off. Now, I think that guy might have been a little crazier than I am now, but it worked. Good job. Thanks, brother. Yeah, you too.
All right. I just want to say a sign of approval. I mean, getting to the guys that are swinging it around here. No accidents in this shot of Aikman shaking the hands of both Sully and Halfley. As well as Garfinkel. I do not know who this guy is. Who is this guy? Chat. Does anybody in chat know who the guy all the way in the left is? Because I don't know who that is. I might know that his name. Oh, is that Bruce? That's fucking Bruce. That's Bruce. What's his face?
Thank you. You're getting your picture taken.
Brandon Shore, thank you. I don't know why I said Bruce. Thank you, Ghost. It is Brandon Shore. Smart. Let's link up with Coach.
I'll be around. Come by, say hello. All right, guys. Thanks, guys, for coming. I appreciate it.
Did you see the slide in the weight room? Did you see the slide in the weight room?
The dreaded slide.
It's your turn.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah. It's never gonna work.
Where did you pull that at?
That was a good story.
So, like, my mom and dad used to drop me off like after dinner after games. They would drop me to the facility and give me a hug and I'd just walk to the facility with them. And I did. Everything I did was there. My clothes were all in my locker, my car was out front. I just lived there. I just decided to live that. I was like, keep it really.
Well, your mind was great. It works.
Yeah. It works.
Yeah, all right. Okay, I was a little bit judgmental on the one angle, but in the end, top notch from the media squad. The audio really played a big deal in it, with the music and background and the crescendo with all the good stuff. They did really good. Jeff Hafley, God, I hope this guy knocks it out of the park. Sullivan and him both saying a lot of the things Dolphin fans wanted to hear about the types of direction they want their football team to start emulating, how they want it to appear. And, these boys knew. We got to see what they got. We're going to find out. Another little bit on Hafley is something I wanted to play here on the regime change. Just listen in. Hold on. Whoops. Let me get this. All right, here we go.
I need to hire an offensive coordinator. And there's certain core beliefs that I really do believe in, like running the ball and being really physical up front. So when they know we're going to run the ball, we're still going to run it well.
Oof. Dolphin fans have killed for, yes, it's 3rd and 1, maybe almost 3rd and 2. But it would be real nice to come in under center with an offset eye or a freaking, I don't care, stacked line and just say, we're going to move you off the line of scrimmage and we're going to take this yard. Now, you can't do it every time, but it would be nice to see it become part of our identity that we're that type of team. And this starts with who's going to help build this type of football team that, the half man. I don't know if I could call him half man because then that sounds like he's like Lord Farquhar, which kind of also is pretty funny too, if you think about it. But no, not the half. Hafley, I'm just going to call him Hafley. I think it's a little bit better of a ring. Hafley, in his first few days, as you saw in the introductory video and all good stuff, they're already starting to put together a couple of these coaches. They're already starting to, get some of these jobs filled. So, I mean, let's take you. I mean, this is going back a couple of days now. I don't know why this is just spiraling in circles like that. It's crazy. Why does it keep doing that? Trying to pull up my list and it's just literally going insane right now. Just going around and around and around. All right, let me close this page because I don't know what's going on here, but it's just not working. That was crazy. It's just spinning around and around with all the things I put together. There we go. We got it, boys. We back. All right, so let's get into it. We can go through some of these coaching updates, some of these guys that are being linked to the team, some of the guys that have been hired to the team. Important information coming up. Hit the like button, everybody. Make sure you guys are checking out tftgnetwork.com for all the great stuff you can find here with the network at TFTG. Some good stuff coming out all the time. Good things. tftgnetwork.com. Shout out everybody in chat. Shout out to Craig Sebring with the $5 donation. Hey, if the Green Bay way works for nobody, should be wait. If the Green Bay way does work, nobody should be complaining. I hear what you're saying, Craig. I mean, listen, I don't know. I'm not going to set unrealistic expectations, where people are like, well, the Patriots went 4-13 and turned it around to 13-4. Yeah, that's the friggin' Patriots. The Dolphins don't do that. Could they turn around and win 11 games? That would be incredible. That would be, if this team turns around and we're got 10, 11 wins next year, it would blow my mind. But that's not my expectation. That's not my expectation. My expectation is a team that has cap problems, that has, regime change. Let's be real, guys. We don't have a young quarterback. If we did, I would feel differently about it. Yes, Naomi Sunrider, Drake May is very good. Hit the like button, everybody. Let's get right into these coaching updates. Giving you guys just a broad picture of how and which way we got here. We're going to go position by position, and then we'll slide into some of this Bills stuff, and then we'll double back on some Dolphins. Let's get it going. First up, we have here, this is Sean Dugan, the Duganheimer. I love the Duganizer. I don't know. Packers linebacking coach, who has some time with him at Ohio State, Jeff Hafley, mind you, and Boston College, and at Green Bay, a guy that has brought him around. He's going to be getting some looks as the potential suitor for the defensive coordinating position. That's still, as I am live right now, it's still vacant. Hit the like button, everyone. This is a guy where it would make sense. Dolphin fans have to remember, I'm not saying the defensive coordinator won't mean anything, because that's just not true. Because if Hafley's a good coach, he's not heavy-handed with defensive duties, if at all possible. He's got a big team to put together and a lot to go on and a lot to work with, and he's going to have to trust the guys he's putting together on his coaching staff. And it, again, not unlike how John Eric Sullivan, general manager, brings in head coach Jeff Hafley as a guy he personally knows. to help build their vision, it would be not out of the realm of possibility here for Sean Duggan to be brought in for the same reasons as the defensive coordinator. Maybe not, maybe so, but this is someone to keep a name on, a pin in, because right now we do not have a defensive coordinator. Next guy up on the list here is Clint Hurts. Is it Hurts? I think it's just Clint Hurt. Yeah, there's no S. This one's interesting to me. Former Miami Hurricane, defensive tackle, baby. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with a Miami guy in Miami. That's just, I will always believe in it. Okay. Also in 2022 to 2023, but he was also defensive, coordinated on Seattle's defense from 2022 to 2023. And right now, he's the Eagles defensive line coach, which I like. Listen, out of half mouth when he asked about the defense, how he is very important, how the guys in the front end do everything they got to do to deal with everything in the back end, which, let's not act like Weaver hasn't been very successful here as a D-line guy, right? Coach, defensive coordinating. I get it. If they ended up saying we're keeping Weaver as our defensive coordinator, I'm not mad at that. I like that. But I do like, the Miami kid, old Clint Hurt coming back in here. D-line we all know last few years that D-line for Philadelphia has been very impressive. And if he wants to come here and help build that type of D-line here as the defensive play caller in Miami, I'm okay with that decision. We'll keep you guys posted as the defensive court job remains open today. Now, offensive coaching candidates. Now, I know we've hired a guy, but let me tell the tale of how we got here, okay? In the OC job, as you just heard, Coach, and what's important to him and his offense, right? I want to be able to run the football when everybody, including the defense, knows we're running the football, because that's going to help me build the team that I want. So some of the candidates early coming out that were being perceptively linked to the Dolphins is Packers OC, Adam Stefanovic, Brian Daboll, ex-Giants head coach, as you guys know, Todd Monken, the Ravens OC, who's looking for a job, and that would make sense as well. And then also Dolphins passing game coordinator, Robbie Stoic. Dolphins initially requested an interview with Houston's QB coach, Gerard Johnson, in bringing about them. Now, interesting enough, with a guy like Gerard Johnson and, Todd Monken and these guys that are going to be out there and still available, they're still going to need jobs, right? They're still going to need positions. What teams are they going to end up with? Because the Ravens look to be, I don't know what's going on, Ravens. Maybe that coach hire, I don't want to get into it right now, but holy cow, I feel like the Ravens are, I think the Ravens are only being outdone by the Bills for absolutely in an absolute free fall of an organization right now. So the Dolphins end up hiring, I guess it would be a new hire, OC, Bobby Slowick, but he was still here, so they retain Bobby Slowick and elevate his position from passing game coordinator to new offensive coordinator, which is not crazy if you think about it. We've already heard from Coach again about some of the coaching staffs in which he learned things from, whom influences the way he wants to run his offense, his team, and things of that. Some of the names was Shanahan's, right? He mentioned D'Amico Ryan as well. I'm just saying, there's his time with the Niners, all that stuff. So Bobby Slowick getting elevated makes complete sense because he's worked under he's had a lot of the same stops here. And here's another thing, guys. McDaniel's offense scheme and things, it's pretty good. Personnels can be changed out, and then what you want to do as a main staple you can pivot because we're running West Coast still. Probably a lot less of well, I know for a fact because Coach said this, a lot less hopefully out of the shotgun, a lot less needing to have guys move pre-snap and get on an edge to move openings in the levels. A lot more under center, a lot more play action, a lot more bootlegs, a lot more where you're going to want the quarterback when those bootlegs are open and no one's open downfield to run that football. We didn't get a lot of that designing here in Miami because we had Tua, and Mike McDaniel really wanted that, which it kind of worked. But here's a little bit about Bobby Slowick. 2011 and through 2013, he was with the Redskins when Shanahan was there, working underneath him. Mike Shanahan, 2017 to 2022, he was with Kyle Shanahan with the Niners underneath him. 2023 and 2024, he was with D'Amico Ryans and the Houston Texans. And then last year, he was with us as the offensive guy. So just a couple of stops where everything, when you look at these hires and these pieces, they're not like, they always have some way of fitting together with who knows who and who's worked with who and what you can kind of envision what they want to do on offense and kind of envision what they want to do on defense thus far, right? They're going to be making changes. So couple of other notable guys that got hired in this since then is the Dolphins have added a new wide receivers coach that Bobby Slowick gets to work with here. His name is Tyke Tolbert. He was working with the Tennessee Titans, which doesn't make me feel really good that he was working with the Tennessee Titans because their wide receiving core was terrible. My God, what a terrible wide receiving core. But notable wide receivers he has worked with, which I guess that's the name of the game. And Tyke Gilbert's been in the wide receivers assistant in the NFL in a game for a hell of a long time, since 2003 and beyond, right? Anquan Bolden in 2003, Lee Evans in 2004 to 9, Steve Smith in 2010, Demarius Thomas in 2011 to 2017, OBJ in 2018, and DJ Moore the last few years. So again, some new hires coming this way with the Dolphins for Slowick to try to build what Halfleet's vision of this offense is going to look like. Another interesting bit of hire that they had here was Todd Hunt is the Dolphins' new strength and conditioning staff member. This is somebody they poached from the Packers. As we know, we've been having plenty of injury problems. Hopefully they've got some figured out with strength and conditioning and whatever, dude, because we need some help. Tired. I mean, you guys forget, Dolphins fans forget, we lost like 12 DBs this year, and like 9 of them we lost before we had week 1. I don't think you guys remember. I do remember we were like, we're just going to keep with some of these young guys and see how they work, and they just started dropping like flies. And then we were bringing in dudes off the street. Artie Burns freaking made it one practice. Like, just an insane amount of injuries to the defensive backs unit this year. And all around, really. I mean, look how many injuries we suffered all levels of the field. So hopefully some of that gets figured out. Hit the like button, everyone. before I get to the special teams coordinator, because it kind of ties into the next subject, I do want to go into, if you guys remember what John Eric Sullivan said about the quarterback position, and he said, "Look, we we're going to draft quarterback damn near every year. We believe in investing in it. We want to retain the guys we want to retain, but we also want to build a system and have guys ready for it. And it's a smart practice and in a literal premium position. Like you got a quarterback that's capable. I mean, dang. I mean, much less a star, but just capable, right? You can. It's assets. It keeps you. I'll explain it like this. If I got a guy who's coming up to contract and he wants to, hold the team hostage and wants unreasonable money. Now you want to keep the guy. You believe he can be it, but he wants unreasonable money. Well, he's going to go ahead and get his knee scoped and miss the first 6 weeks. Well, you got a backup who's been here 2-3 years and he's getting his time to shine. Now the scenario becomes this for the backup. Number one, I know this system. I know these guys. I can shine pretty good. I play well enough. There could be one of two outcomes. One, they could go with me and get rid of him. Or two, I could show up and put enough good film on that a team out there is going to want to pay me good money. And I know this system. I know how to do it. It's a win-win for us if you're in that scenario. So, yeah, okay, you keep a quarterback who's holding out for more money, but now you have the backup you could trade for assets. Or you use that backup to bring your starter into, maybe being a little less brash in his negotiation tactics. You know what I'm saying? Something to think about. If the ideology here is to get a system of good quarterbacks that we can hopefully get capital for, save money with a quarterback, I don't know. Do something. Do something, please. All right, so I had something I was going to pull up. Oh, yeah. With that ideology that they're going to start drafting quarterbacks, they're going to put an emphasis on the quarterback position. I've talked about it quite a bit. Miami Dolphins also hired a new guy to their staff. And this is Kyle Smith as the assistant general manager. Now, who is Kyle Smith, you ask? Well, I got a little of a video here this time with the God, I'm just freaking all over the place today. This time with the Falcons. And now, as you guys remember, the Falcons went and got Kirk Cousins, paid a bunch of money, and then also drafted a young guy. And that kind of, in theory, is exactly the way in which the Green Bay Packers want to kind of operate. You have a guy who's the elder statesman who's running your system. This is not an unheard of way in which to operate your program. Teams would get an old guy in and he would be the starter for a year or so while a young guy sat in the wings. Somewhere the last few years, well, mainly because of how expensive, rookie quarterbacks have and, how hot seats can get at the general management position and how everyone's, held accountable and the windows are shorter and you don't get time to develop these guys. You got to see them right away. But it was common practice to, I'm going to draft this young guy with my 8th overall pick, but he's not playing this year. He's got a system to learn. We don't just throw these guys out there and suffer. The whole team suffers for it. We make the hard decisions, and he might get a shot next year. Now, he needs to learn and get up to speed. He's the backup. Quarterback go down. He's got to get in there, but it's old man Fred's job until then, because I know it gives us, the team, the best chance to win. But here's Kyle Smith when asked about quarterbacks as in his role with the Falcons.
One more, the Green Bay model, right? He mentioned that. He was just talking about love to Rodgers. But if you go back, you know, they were taking quarterbacks almost every year for a minute there in the 90s.
Yeah.
Why haven't teams copied that model before?
I think everybody, I think there's parts and I know what Raheem and Terry were talking about with that. There's pieces to this of that philosophy. Yes, it's the most important position. So, you know, solidify yourself and double down if you have to. And if you have conviction on guys, take them. But obviously our situation is different than theirs was. You know, Kirk just signing Kirk and just coming here. Obviously Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers were there, solidified in those roles. So there are differences, but the philosophy is the same. If you believe in a guy, take the guy, you know, especially at that position. But I think that's kind of what they meant, I think, by the Green Bay model is not so much you can break down every situation and try to make it exact. It's not, but the philosophy is that way. Yes.
Thank you. I'll take that. I'm not opposed to. Again, Dolphin fans have been crowing for this for years. Draft a quarterback every year. I don't care what round it is. Blah, 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 blah. But listen, I hope that, I'll tell you what, if it's the third round or later and Adler's sitting there and Drew Adler hasn't been picked, they better grab that guy. I think he's going to work his way back up in a lot of conversations. I think he possesses some talent, especially in this draft class that, you know, it's Mendoza and everybody else, including him, But yeah, I'm about it. I'm tired of this. We drafted this guy, so I'm going to force everything to work for this guy. That's how the Dolphins have been doing it. Once every freaking generation, they draft a guy or pay a guy, and then they force everything to fit that guy. No. Let's get quarterbacks in here, build this system, find if these guys can operate it, kick them up out of here if they can't. And when they got the guy that can operate it the best and he has physical gifts, you pay him, you keep him, and you hope that, you know, but you don't stop. These guys can't stay healthy forever. And even if they stay healthy more often and all this other stuff, again, there's the implication of how they could be leveraged via contract negotiations. Like, yeah, you know what? But, you know, freaking Malik Willis been hella good. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Aaron Rodgers, I know you want to get paid and get an extension, but we're going to go ahead and draft Jordan Love. Like, smart. I mean, the Patriots did it with Garoppolo and Brady. That's what it was about. And then, you know, he wanted to go with Garoppolo over Brady. Who knows? Garoppolo went to some Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? Garoppolo was deep in the playoffs. Who knows if, you know, Brady leaves, if Garoppolo could have been successful there. I don't know. But I do know there's a model to it, and I want to do that here in Miami. I'll take that. Final of the coaching hire here is going to segue us into the next part. And the Dolphins have hired a new special teams coordinator. Chris Tobor. Now, for all you guys who don't know who this guy is, savvy hire. You're not going to get a guy with any more experience right now. The Bills are falling apart. Guys are jumping off the ship. Interdivision rival guy, going to steal him from your other team. I don't know how they're going to find a better candidate to come in. I mean, for you guys that don't know about Chris Tobor, is he's been an a special teams coordinator, from an assistant to being the guy since like 2007, 8. Like, he's been forever. Since 2011, he's been Either the Browns, the Bears, the Panthers, the Bills, and now the Dolphins. Always a special teams coordinator. Well prepared, knows the game, knows the new rules, understands the new rules, very ready for how the game changes year in and year out with the kicking and all this stuff. That's kind of Tabor. It's Tabor. Chris Tabor. Tabor. I don't know. I can't tell because he's a Bills fan. Y'all talk funny up there. It's pronounced Tabor. Chris Tabor. I don't know. I'll let him tell me. Tabor. Shut up. You don't know. That's how y'all talk up there because you're damn near Canadians. What are you talking about? You don't know how to speak. Fucking tell me. Can't trust your judgment, dude. But yeah, this guy's got a long tenure here in the NFL. He's been doing it for quite some time. Even taking over with the Bears when Matt Nagy failed that COVID test real quick. He had to come in, took over as the interim head coach for a little while, and he won a game against the Niners. So I thought that was fun. But just a guy who's been around, worked under dudes. He was also interim head coach when fired Frank in as the Carolina Panthers when they pulled the plug on him. So a guy that's not just has special teams stuff, but has been left holding the bag and had to keep the team together as a head coach and prepare as such. Just a long tenured dude in the league. Solid hire, dude. Solid for Chris Tabor. I don't care. A Tabor. Chris Tabor. Is it Tabor or Tabar? B-A-R or B-O-R? I don't know. Maybe I spelled it wrong. Maybe it's B-O-R. I'm going to do it like that. Is it Tobor? There you go. I think it is. Yep, it is. Not T-A. All right. Well, ex-special teams coordinator Chris Tabor couldn't get away from the Buffalo Bills fast enough. Run away from sinking ship fast enough. Because everybody in the NFL is looking at the Bills, and everyone knows they are an absolute free fall. An absolute shit show, dude. I mean, y'all are in trouble. In trouble. I mean, I don't know if I know Dolphin fans by and large have been monitoring everything that's been going on with the Bills because how could you not, right? Like, how could you not be watching? Because it's just getting ugly. It starts with the Mike McDermott firing, right? And I'm going to see if I can pull this audio up real quick. Oops, that's not it. Let's see if I can find this thing. Which was interesting after the firing because Dolphin fans kind of wanted to, we should have kicked the tires on. This is before the Dolphins hired their coach. Actually, I believe it was 24 hours later the Dolphins, not even. He was fired in the evening and the Dolphins the next day hired Halfley. So whatever, it is what it is. But when McDermott was before McDermott was fired, he was I'm just not able to find it. McDermott was fired up after the game talking about Buffalo and for the city of Buffalo and how the Bills, they did us dirty and all this stuff. And I get it. There's questionable this and questionable that. And it's kind of funny to me too, though. And some people also pointed this out. They're talking about this interception that may or may not, but they turned the ball over like freaking 6 times in that game. Like, why don't you talk about any of those? But since his firing, the organization has caught immense backlash. There was an immense backlash for the McDermott firing, to the point where like fans are asking for him to get his job back. They've had petitions being signed. 40,000 fans signed it in like 24 hours or something like that. There has been a bunch of people who the backlash on the firing of McDermott has been, I don't know, expected, I guess. Who knows? And, you kind of think, okay, here's how it played out a little bit in the timeline. They lose the game. Josh Allen's freaking weepy. Guys in the locker room are crying. They feel like they got robbed on a play call that shouldn't have been an interception, which I don't know. I think it was the right call personally, but it was a 50-50 in a game. Y'all fought hard back and lost, right? And then McDermott comes out and he's, hair on fire. Just, do Buffalo this way, Bills, I can't believe y'all, the mafia, la, 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 la. And then they repay him fighting and the team's emotion. They axe him. And it was kind of like, whoa, crazy right away. And here's where things got extremely interesting because in the in the aftermath, what happened? I don't know what just happened. Sorry about that. Anyhow, in the aftermath after the firing, the backlash was immense. And then oddly, this is where it's just so wild. I've been meaning to play this and I just can't let it go, dude. I know it's kind of a couple days old now, but where the hell is it? Here it is. They have their conference with GM and their owner talking about what they felt and why they got rid of McDermott and where they felt the shortcomings were. And they fire McDermott, and then they also want to throw Keenan Coleman under the bus. Now, I remember when they drafted Keenan Coleman, I laughed. I said, what the fuck were they thinking? I did not see it. I see exactly what he has been is exactly what I thought he was going to be. They thought he was going to be the next like AJ Brown or something, or the next top dog. I saw a kid who had a lot of talent but didn't seem to have the work ethic or the maturity that I thought you would need, especially for a team like Buffalo. Like I thought it was not a very good pick. Never did. But they then take Coleman. Sorry. They take Coleman and drag him under the bus. Listen in.
Yeah, can I interrupt? I'll address the Keon situation.
This is where it gets wild. He's explaining. And then the owner interrupts and says, I'm going to tell you what's going on.
The coaching staff pushed to draft Keon. I'm not saying Brandon wouldn't have drafted him, but he wasn't his next choice. that was Brandon being a team player and taking advice of his coaching staff, who felt strongly about the player. And, he's taken.
I mean, dude, what an absolute bro for the owner to pipe up and and tell behind the curtain something like listen, this Keon kid, that was on the coaches wanted him. Our GM was playing nice. He was doing a good job. We see it as a failure, and we lay it on the feet of the coaches who just lost their jobs. And it's just like, first of all, you got to get rid of fucking Keon Coleman now. You got he can't play on that football team now. The owner just said you suck, and that was in any way, shape, or form. The owner saying that about a player, attaching him to the regime that just got fired. You up out of here. And all the while taking this sacrificial lamb of Coleman, of Keon, the Keon lamb, and using it to defend your general manager, who you are now all in with. It was coming down to general manager or coach, and we have witnessed this. Listen up, Bills fans. Get ready to clip it, because this is something you're going to want to hear, Bills fans. I know this very well. There is a power struggle with management and coaching, has been for a little bit with the Bills. And while McDermott's got his eye on the ball, Brandon Beane is working the game, rigging the game, working in the shadows, and edged him out with favoritism of the owner and got McDermott fired. And I've watched this exact same. I've watched Chris Greer do it to a couple of people, bro. I've watched him do it to a couple of people, so I know what I'm talking about. And so much so that the owner's now caping up for the general manager over the coach. He has fully bought to what Brandon Beane is selling. Fully bought. Lock, stop, and purchase. Now, interesting enough, after the owner was being honest, the owner was caping up for his boy, the dysfunction at all levels starts to rear its ugly head. Because listen to this. This is the general manager, Brandon Beane, advocating for the Bills for drafting Keon Coleman. Listen to what he says.
When I went to bed that night, I was like, it's Keon unless someone just blows us away. We didn't feel anything was attractive enough for us to pass up on Keon.
All things considered, just get the guy who's feels the best fit.
Isn't this the year that y'all that the Bills were on one of those reality shows that they do? Like Paramount had the rights to it or something like that. I mean, listen again. This is a separate thing from the general manager, BB. We're just gonna call him BB. Brandon Beane, BB's GM BB. Listen to this, dude. Listen to this. This is how sold this guy that the owner stood up for and said, no. This was not this terrible pick of Keon Coleman. This terrible, horrible draft pick of Keon Coleman was not on our general manager. It was on the guys we just fired.
Big surprises?
So he asks one of his guys, any surprises? This is at, the combine. And he goes, yeah, Keon Coleman ran a 4.57. 4.56 or 4.57.
I'm glad he ran that. Help you get him.
Gabe was mid 4.5.
4.54.
I'm glad he ran that. That'll help us get him. And then his guy next to him's like, I guess, Gabe Davis ran a 4.5. He's like, yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, well, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. An interesting way for it to all kind of play out here. Because typically when they're firing the boogeyman, at least when the Dolphins do it, they fire the boogeyman, everybody got their story straight in Miami. I'll give them that. Whoever's left standing, everybody got their story straight. Now, they kind of, the reason in which they're always prepared is because they kind of do it the way we just seen them do. I mean, to the point where Mike McDaniel's feeling himself so much, he's doing exit interviews with his players talking about their future, and he gets fired. Like that's the walls be a move in the back office and the smoky rooms and the shadows where the real decisions get made. The Dolphins have done a pretty good job of that. And then on the other side of it, they at least have tight quarters and they've got their story straight, or they at least don't put their foot in their mouth. Sometimes I've watched this owner put his foot in his mouth quite a few times. So the Bills getting their own comeuppance with their dysfunction in their organization at all levels. And it's funny to me because, hey, listen, you look at someone else's misery and, ha, 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 ha. They weren't kind on us in our misery. So let's call it for what it is. As they currently sit, no head coach. And I think they've overplayed their hand. Completely overplayed their hand. Kind of like the Dolphins a little bit overplayed their hand. At least they had a plan, though. The Dolphins, when they fired McDaniel and they brought in Aikman and they got the fucking brain trust together. And when they fired McDaniel, they didn't have a GM either. They were prepared to go all the way and had already had some time to build it this way. I think the Bills general manager is as prepared to find his next coach as he was to pick fucking Keon Coleman. That's how prepared he is. I don't care that he ran a 4.57. That means it's easier for me to get him. I think they overplayed their hand and they thought, dude, we fired McDermott. They're going to line up around the block in the snow to come play in Buffalo because we have Josh Allen. And I in some respects and aspects, I kind of understand it. I kind of understand you've got a marquee talent quarterback, the hardest thing to obtain in the NFL, a top marquee quarterback. Problem is, as the Ravens just hired, there was more than one. The Steelers is a storied organization. Like, wow, just the amount. There was the Giants. Say what you want about the Giants in recent memory. They've won Super Bowl. I can find around. Had great teams. Awesome defense, pass rushers. I watched that. It was incredible. Look a lot of like the Miami Hurricanes pass rush. But, I think they thought that Lamar Jackson, who cares? Steelers, who cares? There's all these other teams. Nobody cares. There's young quarterbacks and stuff like that. I just want to go through a little bit. Josh Allen had a terrible performance in that playoff loss. And Josh Allen has only scored 3 points. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but that means a field goal in 7 overtime games in his career. Josh Allen in overtime. It's nothing short of a certain loss. he can't do anything for you. In fact, a lot of the times that the Bills end up in an overtime situation is because Josh Allen is giving the ball up 4+ times. He doesn't just, and I've said this about Josh Allen for so long, and he's an incredible talent. But the second the going gets tough and he tries to do Superman and it fails, it's like he keeps continuing to fail on his Superman thing. It's when they ask him to do too much. And honestly, he does too much all the time. And I can't understand. I'm not saying they should get rid of Josh Allen. Maybe this, whatever. But Josh Allen is still here because management chose Allen over McDermott. Now, I don't think they couldn't still play together or coach together or be together, but they chose we have a marquee football talent at quarterback, and we need to go ahead and figure out how to make it competitive with him. And it's not going to be with McDermott. So they're going to want an offensive guy. They're looking to bring in an offensive dude. And that makes sense. I think they thought because it was Josh Allen and how great they are that they were just going to come flooding through. And I think Bills Mafia has forgotten who they really are. I really do, guys. I think you guys have gotten full of yourself. I mean, we're Dolphins fans. We're arrogant. We are arrogant. But like you guys, there's been some fucking dummies. The new young youthful kids kind of ridiculous. But you all Bills fans are fucking old that are still getting like this. You think you earned something. You think you're owed something. You forget that Buffalo is not a destination for anyone. I can't wait to get a great job in Buffalo, New York. I can't wait. Who in their industry thinks that to the top of what I do would hopefully take me to Buffalo? It is not a desirable thing. It's not. I'm not trying to shit on y'all's city, but it's a frozen tundra more often than not. And that's cool. I respect Bills fans to a degree of their heart and their grit. But the thing they don't get is they forget themselves. They forget what they come from. They forget who they are, what their deal is. Because we, as Dolphin fans, might troll every now and again. These mofos actually believe it. I understand the meaning of small market, Michael K. But when you measure one small market to another, and the perfect example of these two markets being, I would say, more leaning in the favor of Buffalo because it has, trade implications and a lot of stuff that they do with other industries. And anyhow, Green Bay and Buffalo. What's the difference? Why? Because Green Bay has this quiet, reserve, lunch pail, diehard fans, but like super nice people. And they, when you think of a Bills fan and a Green Bay fan, they're nothing alike. And for all the right and wrong reasons. My point is that the Bills constantly overestimate themselves, their importance, what they're actually doing, and what's really going on. They have no self-awareness. And they believed that they're a great organization that has something everybody wants the most in a top tier talent at quarterback, and they're going to line up around the block as we pretty much not just, dude, you got to understand, not only, I mean, Mike McDaniel told him to go fuck off. Other coaches are telling him no thanks. Guys aren't lining up. Dude, they're calling on freaking Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is a potential. And there's no shade on Phillip Rivers, right? Phillip Rivers, great guy. High school coach, just played a couple games this year in the NFL. I'm not saying it couldn't work, but like that's where, like, you couldn't tell me, oh shit, I want to fire McDermott because I want to hire Phillip Rivers as my next head coach. What's his staff going to look like? Is he just being brought in here to coddle Joshy boy? Is that what's happening? What's going on in Buffalo? What's going on? I don't know. I mean, dude, what? What are we talking about? McDermott gets fired. A guy who's been in the playoffs like every year. I mean, dude, forever now. Like he brought this organization who was always one win away from a playoff berth, kind of what I know, and kept you guys in the playoffs for years. Well, in a lot of these playoff losses, I watched Josh Allen be the reason for the loss. I don't get me wrong, McDermott carried some, but Josh Allen's got 4 interceptions and, he's running around doing dumb shit. He wastes the clock. But they're not going to get rid of Josh Allen, and I understand that too. And fine, okay, you fire McDermott. But they thought that they were going to, I don't know what they thought. Because right now, I know what they definitely didn't think. That they would be still without a head coach right now after firing McDermott. Really their top candidate being Phillip Rivers. That's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, who's David Webb? Out of all the guys that I've heard that have head coaching candidates, who's David Webb? I don't know. A guy that they're bringing in the interview. Is that the guy? That's the guy under Peyton. That's what it is. Whew. It's just interesting to me. Yeah, he's the OC for the Broncos. Yeah, I got that. Is he really the OC? Like it's like all the guys that come off the Shanahan tree, which have been pretty good. So maybe he's good for you guys. Maybe a Sean Payton tree limb will do you guys right. But dude, the Bills just seem to be dysfunctional at all levels in a way that, I don't know, I felt like they kept a lid on a lot of it, It's just been interesting to see how and I get it. There's all this additional pressure because the Patriots are going to the damn Super Bowl right now. Like, I'm pissed that the Patriots are in the Super Bowl. Bills fans must be disgusted because they've had a top 5 quarterback in any year he's been healthy. I mean, which has been almost every year. And Josh Allen, like you can rank quarterbacks and even in every year. And yeah, he might not be top 5 in all those years combined or whatever. But at any time, you'd be like, yeah, well, what's your top 5 quarterbacks? People are naming Josh Allen more than they're missing him on naming him in any of the years, the last 5 years. So to think about the pressure, I get it. ultimately, if they would have fired McDermott now, fine. Firing him in the way they did and having zero plan, and then the icing on the cake that's not going to help is your owner foot directly in his mouth after being up the fucking other guy's ass, lying, saying he didn't want Coleman, Keon. And there's literally clips of, I don't care how slow he ran. That's great. We get to get him now. Like, what? He ran slow enough to be there for us? Oh, shit. Like, damn, like that is exactly the opposite of what you said, Mr. Owner. Like, think about it. Like, that's crazy. So, and then not to mention the owner, like if you're a coach and you got an obvious, like, this is why the Dolphins had a hard time finding coaches, I believe. I thought they got lucky with the last two, but it's from afar and in the know amongst coaching circles and managers. And these guys all know each other some way or another. They all went to Ivy League places, came up through the ranks, whatever, you know it. That world ain't that big, people. It's not. There's thousands in it, but thousands for all the money that moves around. They all kind of fucking know each other. If people, the outside looking at Dolphins, I mean, a lot of people knew Chris Greer had his hooks into Stephen Ross and was driving this ship while also constantly whispering in his ear on who to blame for his mistakes and others and who's the next guy we can, feed to the fans to keep this thing moving. And I think that's why we got a lot of first-time head coaching hires. We didn't get a lot of respect in people to, that we wanted to have come here in Miami and whatever, even with capital, even with whatever. But I think the Bills ownership and management estimated themselves as they're great guys to work with. They're a stable organization. They have a quarterback. They've got a great general manager, and people want to be here. And I don't think that any of those things, minus having a pretty damn good quarterback, are true. And I think they're finding themselves in a frenzy, in a frantic way. And I think that it's going to be real telling how things continue to shake out because the draft's coming, dude. Like, you going to hire a guy that you don't know? I mean, if they bring Dayball in, it'd be an easier transition. But if they're going to hire a guy they don't know, and, what if his ideology is going to change? We're changing a lot around here. Is that scouts you trust? There's just so many moving parts that time is of the essence. 2 weeks away from the damn Super Bowl, and all of a sudden be into, combine and pro days and you name it. Like, there's a lot moving on, and the Bills are falling further and further behind. I guess they feel pretty good about themselves because they got the guy, the smashing talent evaluator who thought Keon Coleman was good and then lied about it. Bills are in free fall, and we will monitor here at the Fins Tailgate. Speaking of dysfunction and free fall and problems and all this stuff, what do the Miami Dolphins do about their quarterback situation? What do they do? What should the Miami Dolphins do at quarterback? What should they do with other stuff? What would Mike McDaniel have done? I think he would have got right up out of here. I think he already had his bags packed and his jersey wasn't in the locker, and they already put, they already covered it in plastic because they're waiting for it to, be sterilized and sprayed, and next guy gets to open it up and it'll be all clean for the next player to take his locker. That's what was happening. The Miami Dolphins currently, according to Spotrac, is negative $22 million. That is fifth worst in the NFL. The Bills are negative 11. The Browns negative 18 above Miami. Beneath Miami is the I mean, just listen to a couple of these teams it's incredible who's got negative cap space right now. Dallas Cowboys, negative 32 million underneath the Dolphins. Vikings, negative 37 million. Saints, negative 41 million. And the Chiefs, negative 55 mil. Leading the cap situation. Top 5 teams. Number 1 with 100 million. Tennessee Titans. Number 2 with 91 million. Oakland Raiders. Number 3, New York Jets with 87 million. I guess that's why they fired everybody, because they're going to spend money and they want to make sure the people that they want to spend it is there. I don't know. Interesting. New offensive coordinator for the LA Chargers might get some new weapons coming up, because the Chargers come in here with the 4th most cap space available thus far heading into 2026. 85 mil. They're going to fix that. They're going to look to some free agents on that line and probably get a weapon. Who knows? This is crazy, though. The team going to the Super Bowl, ranked 5th with the most cap space. Seattle Seahawks have plus 77 million. I'm telling you right now, they win this Super Bowl and they retain this team. We might be in trouble. I mean, the Patriots have 38 million. Seattle could be a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, the Mike McCarthy hire is crazy, dude. I mean, I know that I see the Steelers fan in chat, but man, bro, Mike McCarthy, like, what was that? I don't get it. So anyhow, back to the question at hand. What do the Finns do at quarterback? Well, they've got negative 22 million. Tagovailoa would effectively the biggest cap casualty amount ever in the NFL if the Dolphins do it. Finally, Tua, they were always right about you, Tua. You are a world record breaker of wasted money and time and talent. Negative 99.2 million would have to be carried with cutting Tua Tagovailoa. Make sure y'all are clipping it. Crazy. Crazy. So what do the Dolphins do about the quarterback situation? Do they cut Tua? Do they go and get a guy like Malik Willis? A lot of people talking this Malik Willis to Miami. I get it. You know, we're going to change ideology around here. We're going to do under center. We're going to do things differently. You know, I mean, they were talking about it a week ago on Get Up. Listen up.
Hey, Mark, next one. Believe it or not, Malik Willis will be the starting quarterback in Miami next season.
I can believe it.
Yeah.
Jeff Hafley's there, number 1, former Packers DC. And also, Malik Willis has played well enough where you're like, this guy deserves a shot at being a quarterback, and a starting quarterback. And right now, Miami doesn't seem all that thrilled with its current quarterback situation. Listen, everything I've heard about Jeff Hafley talking to Packers players this season has been, he is a player's coach. He is the type of guy you want to play for. So I could see those two teaming up.
Well, okay. So easy to put it together. Hafley, Packers, Malik Willis, free agent, Dolphins, no quarterback. Tua, they don't like. Maybe, right? Maybe Malik Willis comes in here. I don't know exactly what purpose that is serving, especially even serving Malik Willis, because I don't know. I mean, it's just like, what are we doing? We're going to negative 22. We're going to carry all this dead cap. We're going to need to maneuver money. What are you going to sign him to a year and pay him nothing this year and give him backloaded money? Are we really trying to pay for Malik Willis on a roster 2 years from now when he's not here? Like, what are we talking about? What are the options? What else could be done? Is there a way in a world in which Tua can be traded? Can the Dolphins figure that out? Dan Orlowski, who loves Tua, he is a Tua believer, Tua Tua sexual, as we've called around here. He believes Tua should get another shot somewhere else in the NFL. Listen in.
It's not tough. Rip the Band-Aid off. This is a full rebuild. Yeah. Tua wants a new place. Go play somewhere else and see if you can become a starter in the NFL again. This is not going to be a 1 or 2 year fix in Miami. This is a place that you have to rebuild on both sides of the line of scrimmage before we're ever talking about who the quarterback of the future is in Miami. Tua and Tua's future is going to be determined about how he goes about his business. If you're Jeff Hafley, you have to sit back and say, we're not capable of winning football games this coming season at the level that I was brought here to. Move on from Tua, get as much as you can for him right now if you're capable of doing that, and start your rebuild. Truthfully, the Dolphins' future and their quarterback is way more about 2027 and beyond than it is 2026. Yeah. No man.
I have said this. For once, I freaking think fucking Dork Dan Orlowski has a real take here. Like, it's smart. I don't believe you got to have some honesty with yourself in your cap situation and your quarterback situation and what you're trying to pull off. Like, this year is going to be a lot of moving down, in areas and trying to set yourself better up for the future. In which case, if we're in no longer soft rebuild, but an actual rebuild and trying to put together new core ideology in the way in which this team plays, I don't know how many guys on the roster benefit the system that is going to be implemented. We might have to. And I think it would be smart to say we're going to take steps back. We're going to take chances on, cheap young guys and guys that we can maybe see if can develop in this scheme, guys we've scouted over time, and build it a little bit while we'll take a little hit back on financial stuff, trade away some of this talent that obviously isn't going to be here in the future, because the following year is going to be a rebuild year and probably one with a young quarterback. Now, I don't know. They might have a completely, hit the like button, everybody. They might have a completely different view of themselves, and we'll see how honest they are. The Bills have a bad view of themselves and what they're doing right now. The Dolphins may make the same mistake if they believe that they can fix this and turn it around, and they're going to go get Malik Willis, and they're going to waste $10 million each year the next 3 years. We're going to build it together. But maybe they're a long play. I don't know, but we're going to see and find out. What is kind of crazy and is not out of the realm of something here is shout out to Solana and Crowder and Hockman and all those guys, in the mornings in the afternoons, really. But Crowder says a part that I don't know. Maybe we do keep Tua.
This is my strong take of the day.
Oh, you're straight.
We're talking about Malik Willis and Kirk Cousins and these single-digit win quarterbacks. Keep Tua. Keep Tua. Give him to the new OC. What's the big deal? Like, you have to pay him $50 million anyway. Why try to do the whole jostling thing? Just keep Tua around. See if he works out. Tell him he needs to perform, and you can now earn another contract. We're just going to see what we have because, Josh, you just said it. 2026 isn't a Super Bowl year. It's a first-year head coach, first-year GM. They're trying to get through the cap hell of it. Keep Tua around. I don't see a problem with it.
And run him. Hey, there's no more restrictions. We want you diving head first. This is your year, man. Make it happen.
I know I've been joking at the end there. That's what he does best. But I'm not opposed to it. Now, hear me out. I get it. Everybody hates Tua. They don't want him here. They don't. But these guys are new. And not that I think they could ever get any better results out of Tua Tagovailoa than Mike McDaniel did. I just don't believe it to be possible. It would fit into their ideology of how they want to treat the quarterback position. Competition older guy in the building, kind of stabilizing things, teaching the dudes underneath him. Now, what is Tua going to be able to teach anybody? Nothing. I don't want anyone to learn habits from Tua Tagovailoa. I agree with that. I also think, there's real chance for Tua to look to sabotage people. I know he's a little bit of a dirty fucking fighter, to be honest. But you want to pay him $100 million to leave? Or do you want him to go out there and take this first as things are on shaky footing to spare the guys up there? No one's going to trade for him. Cutting him is immense amount of losses. Just roll him out there and have him go crazy. Not trying to get him hurt, obviously, but certainly not holding back. Something to think about when we're talking about what's going to happen. There's just a lot of moving parts. I know nobody wants to hear it, but they could keep Tua. I don't want them to. But if they did, how they'll sell it is, well, he's just one of many guys. We're having competitions. We're going to bring a lot of guys in here. They could cut him later. They could pressure him. They could just keep him around to work out some kind of financial thing. Maybe trade. I don't know. They could roll him out with all new offensive linemen that are trying a new system that they want to put Tua underneath center because the guy they got in this year's draft, they don't want getting beaten up. Now, I get it. People are like, why don't you have Quinn Ewers out there and do it? Maybe they got something for Quinn Ewers. Maybe somebody wanted Quinn, and they trade him. Maybe Quinn's still here. Maybe it's a different guy. Maybe they go and pay Malik Willis, and they want to roll out with rookie quarterback Malik Willis and Tua. Like, Tua teach this kid to become the best thing in RPO. He got a live arm and live legs, but damn, he can't freaking run an RPO. You're the king, Tua. We need you. Tua with the clipboard. Tua with the whiteboard. Tua with the headset. Coach Tagovailoa. Yeah, gross. Hit the like button, everybody. Thanks for coming through. We did it. We got through it. I feel like it went about 45 minutes longer than I wanted to, but you'll have that. I appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure you guys, again, have hit the like button, share, subscribe if you haven't. Check out tftgnetwork.com, and we'll see y'all next time. Fins.